are you? Thank you for joining today. We're just going to wait a few minutes for more people to join. But just now, can you tell me, is the connection okay? Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Just let me know in the chat so that if there's any technical problems, I don't start the lesson with these. You can just say everything's fine or it's not fine if it's not fine. It's great. It's okay for you. Okay, perfect. Just while we wait a little bit longer, maybe you can answer some questions for me in the chat. It'd be great to get an idea of like where you're all calling from. So maybe you can tell me where you're from, what the weather is like where you are, and maybe you can also tell me the best thing about your week so far. Although it's the end of the week. So yeah, the best thing about your week. The highlight of your week. So where you're from, how's the weather, and something nice that you've done this week, something that's been the best thing about your week. Maybe I'll go first. So I'm from Scotland. The weather is, I'm not in Scotland now actually, I'm in London. And the weather is, it's quite nice actually. I don't know what temperature it is. I think it's like 20 and it's kind of sunny, kind of cloudy. And the best thing about my week or something nice I've done this week, I've had a really productive week and I went out for a really nice lunch yesterday. So yeah. Okay, you can tell me. Let's see where you're all from. We've got Brazil, Sri Lanka, India, Cambodia. It's raining. Oh, I'm sorry. Unless you like the rain. Philippines, 32 degrees. Oh, that's nice. I'm jealous. Okay, we've got people from so many different places. So, we're going to get started. I haven't even introduced myself, sorry. For those of you who haven't had a live lesson with me before, my name is Lizzie. I am an English teacher and I'm a teacher on Cambly, and I also teach these live lessons every so often. We have these live lessons every Sunday. So if you're new here, then welcome. And if you're here a lot, like all the time, then welcome back. So today I'm going to teach this lesson on love and relationships. The reason I wanted to teach this lesson was I was in a lesson with one of my students and they started asking me about vocabulary you can use to talk about your boyfriend or girlfriend. And I realized that we have a lot of different expressions that we use. So I thought it would be something that would be useful for all of you. And hopefully interesting, hopefully a topic that you're interested in. And yeah, I hope you get something out of this lesson today. So I'm going to go over some phrasal verbs, some idioms, some collocations, and then I'm going to test you on some of these throughout and at the end, just to give you a chance to practice using these. And if you have any questions, I'm also going to give you a chance to ask questions at the end of the live. So if I don't have time to answer them during the live, don't worry. If anything's not clear, if you need me to explain anything in more detail, then at the end, I'll give you a chance to do this. And also, if you're just joining this live now and you've missed the beginning, we haven't really done much now, we haven't really done much so far anyway, but if you have missed the beginning or if you can't watch all of this live today, don't worry because it'll be posted onto the Cambly YouTube channel at the end. So you'll be able to watch it again whenever you want, whenever's convenient for you. Okay, I'm going to get started and I'm going to start off with some idioms. You can see them all here, but I know that might not be very clear for you, so I've got them written down here as well. So I'm going to give you the first one, and then what I want you to do is I want you to see if you can tell me what you think it means, and then maybe think of an example sentence as well. So the first one is this one, to be into someone. What do you think this means? Do you know what this means? You can write in the chat. Do you have this idiom in your language? Does it translate the same? Yeah, well done. To like someone. Okay, someone's put as an example sentence, I am really into Cambly. Um, you can also use this to talk about things that you like. So you can use it to talk about people that you like or things that you like and you enjoy. But obviously, in the context of love and relationships, we're going to use it to talk about people that we like in a romantic way. So we wouldn't use this to talk about friends or family. We would only use it to say that we like someone in a romantic way. We're attracted to someone, we like them, but only in a romantic way. And I have an example sentence here, but maybe you guys can try and think of your own example sentences. So just write them in the chat and I'll have a look. So I've just got this one. She seems really into him. She seems really into him. She seems like she really likes him in a romantic way. She seems really into him. But yeah, going back to what someone said, their example sentence was, I'm really into Cambly. So you can also use this idiom to be into something, to talk about like your hobbies or things that you enjoy doing. Yeah, if we're talking about love and relationships, then you're going to say you're into someone. Okay, let me check some of your example sentences. He's not that into me. Good. Good sentences. Let me read out some more. I am into immediately after first meeting in the cafe. Okay, so you would say I'm into them. You have to say you're into someone. So I'm into her, I'm into him, I'm into them. Okay, good sentences, everyone. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is this one. And careful with the pronunciation of this. It's to be smitten with someone. To be smitten with someone. So we're always going to say smitten with someone. This is quite similar to the last one. Does anyone know what it means? Let me see what you think. Can you guess? Have you heard it before? Has anyone got any ideas? Or can you make an example sentence? So it's similar to the last one. It's similar to be into someone. It means that you really like someone. But we often use it to talk about a new feeling. So it's usually at the beginning of a relationship or when you meet someone new and you develop strong feelings for them. But yeah, it's often related to, we often use it to talk about when you meet someone like near the beginning of a relationship. You wouldn't really say you were smitten with someone that you'd known for years or you'd been married to for years and years and years. We wouldn't really use this expression. So it's usually used to talk about a new feeling of being in love with someone. Does it mean to be infatuated with someone? Yeah, good word. Okay, and I've got my example sentence here, which is, he's so smitten with his new girlfriend. Can you think of any other example sentences? Okay, you're already writing some, great. As soon as he saw her, he was smitten. Yeah, nice. He was so smitten by her or with her that he promised to move to Argentina to be near her. Oh, I like that. That's a nice sentence. Again, you would use this to talk about a romantic relationship. You wouldn't really use it to talk about friends or family. Same as to be into someone, okay? So, yeah. And you could say, I'm smitten with my wife, but it's not wrong to say that, but it's just we would more commonly use it to talk about a new relationship, someone who we hadn't known for a really, really long time. It's like a new feeling of being in love with someone. The new couple seems smitten with each other. Perfect. Good example. Right. Let's go on to the next idiom. To dump someone. So we're kind of moving away from nice feelings of being in love with people, saying that we like people. This is kind of the opposite. What does it mean to dump someone? Does anyone know? Have you heard this before? Or maybe you can think of a phrasal verb with the same meaning, which we're also going to learn today. Maybe you might, yeah, well done. You're already saying it. Good. Break up. Yeah. So to break up with someone, to end a relationship with someone. Someone said to leave someone for another or to cheat on someone. No, not necessarily. So to dump someone, it doesn't mean that you leave someone for someone else. You just leave that person. You just end that relationship, but you don't necessarily leave them for another person. That would be to cheat on someone or to have an affair. All of these things we're going to go over in the lesson. But yeah, to break up, to end a relationship. Can you think of any example sentences for to dump someone? Here is mine. He's upset because she dumped him. He's upset because she dumped him. Okay, Tomo, I was dumped from him last month. Yeah, you would say you were dumped by someone. So you're going to use the preposition by. You're dumped by someone. You either dumped someone else or you are dumped by a person, by someone else. I am not dumping my girlfriend because I am smitten with her. I am smitten with her. Good. You've used 2 in 1 there. Well done. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. We have this one, to be a match made in heaven. To be a match made in heaven. What do you think this means? And for this one, do you have a similar idiom, a similar expression in your language? I feel like this is the sort of one where you might have a similar one in your languages, but I don't know. So you'll have to tell me if you do. What do you think it means? Yeah, best couple. Good couple forever. Yeah, a perfect couple. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so a match made in heaven is a perfect couple. Couples that are made for each other. Yeah, good. Yeah, so a couple that is perfect. They're a great match. You often hear, we talk about a match often with online dating. So with dating apps like Tinder, for example, you would match with someone. So if you both like swipe whichever way, I think right or whatever, then you like match with each other. So we talk about, yeah, being a good match. So a match made in heaven is a perfect match, a perfect couple. So I've put, they like the same things, they are a match made in heaven. Can you think of any other example sentences? Are any of you with someone and you think that you are a match made in heaven? I hope so. Me and my future girlfriend are a match made in heaven. Oh, you are nice. That's good. I'm happy for you. They will be a match made in heaven. They are a good couple. Yeah, a perfect couple, a great couple. They're made for each other. Everyone thought they were a match made in heaven. Excellent. Really good example sentences today. Okay, I'm going to give you one more idiom. And then I want to move on to some of our collocations. So, the last one is this one. To pop the question. To pop the question. In English, we use this, and maybe just British English. I'm not sure exactly. I should have maybe checked that. But definitely in British English, we use the word pop for so many things. This deserves like a whole other lesson. I'm not sure if there is a lesson on this on Cambly or not yet, but maybe something that we could make in the future. But yeah, the word pop we use to talk about so many things. We can say I popped to the shops, or my mum popped over for a cup of tea yesterday. Or can you just pop the oven on for me? So we use the word pop for many different things in many different situations. It's kind of like it gives the idea of sort of doing something quite quickly. For example, if you pop to the shops, you're going to the shops very briefly, quickly. But yeah, it's kind of a slang, informal way of saying different things. So here, to pop the question, not that that's going to help you know what this means, but we're using it in this idiom too. To pop the question, what do you think this means? Yeah, well done. Lots of you have got it. To ask someone to marry you. Yeah. We wouldn't say to engage a girlfriend. We would just say to ask. It's about asking the question. To ask, to pop the question, to ask the question. The question is asking someone to marry you. So can you think of an example sentence? Okay. Let me show you mine first to give you some inspiration. He's taking me to Paris next week. I think he might pop the question. My friend said that he's going to pop the question tomorrow. Nice. I'm so smitten with my girlfriend. Everyone can see we're a match made in heaven. Maybe it's time to pop the question. Great. You've used all three there. 3, 4? 4. Showing off. Oh no, 3. I can't count. Well done. Yeah, pop is the verb. So pop is kind of like, instead of saying ask, to ask the question, to pop the question. So we're using pop as a verb here. So you're asking someone to marry you. You're proposing to someone. I couldn't think of the other way of saying it for ages there. There we go. And so I think someone said it. Thank you. To propose to someone, to ask someone to marry you. On a first date, he popped. Okay, you would maybe use pop in the past here, so you'd say he popped the question. He popped the question. On a first date, wow. Okay. Let's move on to talk about collocations. If you're not sure what collocations are, we have them in every language, so I'm sure you'll have them in your own language too. But they are 2 or more words that go together, that you see together very often. So to a native speaker, collocations are just phrases or 2 or more words that we would put together that just sound right. They just sound natural. And also, I feel like they're important to learn because if you learn collocations, it's an important part of learning vocabulary in English, and it will help you sound a lot more natural because you're going to be using the phrases that native speakers use. And as I say, it's just phrases that just sound right to a native speaker. So it's important for you to learn. So what I've done, I'm going to make this into kind of a quiz at the same time. So I've got the first part of the collocation up here, and then I want you to select what you think goes best with it. So which one of these do you think sounds right? Which one of these is something that you would hear native speakers in English say? Can you not see them? Let me move it closer. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting that it's not actually that big. And also I'm moving it around loads. Okay. Which one do you think? It's clear. Okay, great. So childhood what? I think someone's got it. Just going to give a couple of you a little bit more time, and then I will explain. Good. Okay, yeah. Childhood sweetheart. Childhood sweetheart. Okay, so this one. Childhood sweetheart. Actually, I think I've written it down here. Okay, what is a childhood sweetheart? Does anybody know what this means? Sweetheart is kind of like a cute name that you would use maybe to talk about someone that you love. Childhood, when you're a child. So from those clues, what do you think this means? Childhood sweetheart. A person is a childhood sweetheart. A person can be a childhood sweetheart. Yeah, well done, Naman. Childhood crush. Yeah, childhood crush. Somebody that you liked or had a relationship with. Maybe not your childhood, that's very young, but from when you were young. So someone that you were with when you were really young, or someone that you're the first person that you fell in love with, but it's probably like an earlier stage of your life. Maybe not your childhood, but yeah, an early stage of your life. A boyfriend or girlfriend from younger life, exactly. Great, well done. Okay, let's try the next collocation. So, the first part of the collocation is happily. What do you think the rest of it is? Happily what? We've got happily an affair, happily mate, happily sweetheart, happily in love, happily at first sight, or happily married. Well done, loads of you are getting this one. So yeah, it works best with happily married. Happily married. I don't think I really need to explain the meaning of this. You're married to someone and you're very happy. Your marriage is going well. But this is just a phrase that we would often use. A collocation. Two words that we often see together. Happily married. Okay, well done, guys. Right. The next one, so the beginning of the collocation is soul. What's the rest of the collocation? Soul what? Is it soul an affair, soul mate, soul sweetheart, soul in love, soul at first sight, or soul, I can't read that, it's like upside down for me, soul married. There we go. Well done, loads of you are getting this one. Soulmate, yes, soulmate. So what is a soulmate? It's quite similar to one of the idioms that we studied at the beginning. So can you think which idiom that we studied that this is similar to? It has a kind of similar meaning. Soulmate. What is a soulmate? A soulmate is a person. Yeah, so it's similar to match made in heaven, similar to that idiom. So yeah, it's someone who is perfect for you. So sometimes people talk about how, you might only have one soulmate. There might just be one person who is perfect for you. Um, you'll often hear people saying things like this. So yeah, a match made in heaven, this idiom is very similar. So your soulmate is someone who is made for you, someone who is perfect for you, someone who you were always supposed to be with. Yeah. Okay. We've got a couple more collocations. So the next one, love what? Love an affair, love mate, love sweetheart, love in love, love at first sight, love married. Yeah, well done, everyone. Okay, I guess you could say love an affair, but that's, not the collocation that I'm aiming for here. Love at first sight. Love at first sight. Well done. Watch the spelling, okay? We have sight and sight. We have this kind of sight, which is GH, which is talking about your vision, what you see, your eyesight. And then we have sight spelled SITE, which I just noticed some of you writing in the chat. That has a different meaning. That's referring to like location. So love at first sight. What does this mean? What is love at first sight? You might have heard this in films, maybe romantic films, especially like children's, maybe Disney films and things. You might have heard this kind of expression. Yeah, so you fall in love with someone when you first meet them. So when you first ever meet someone or see them, you instantly are in love. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, the next collocation, the beginning of it is have. What's the rest? So we've got have an affair. It's the same options each time, so you might be able to work out with process of elimination as well now. So have an affair, have mate, have sweetheart, have in love, have married, have at first sight. Oh, great. Well done. Okay, you all know. So have an affair. What does it mean, though, to have an affair? I think I mentioned it briefly earlier when we were talking about to dump someone. What does it mean to have an affair? Does anyone know? So to cheat on someone, yeah. What does it mean to cheat on someone? For those of you who don't know. How else could we explain this? Yeah, a separate relationship. Good. Okay, so maybe when you're in a relationship with someone and you start having a romantic relationship of some kind with another person, but the whole point is that you're lying about it. Okay, like the person you're with doesn't know. They're not happy about this. They've not said it's okay. So to have an affair, to cheat on someone, to lie to someone, and to have romantic relations with someone outside of your relationship. I would say have an affair. We tend to use more when we talk about married couples. So if it's a couple who are married and one person starts having romantic relations with someone else secretly, then we would call this to have an affair. If you're not married and you're just like boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, then I would say it's more common to say to cheat on them, to cheat on someone. I feel like we don't really use have an affair unless we're talking about a married couple. So yeah, that's a little tip for you. If you're talking about a married couple, then I would use have an affair. And if you're talking about just someone who you're not married to, but you're in a relationship with, then you would probably say to cheat on someone. Okay, let's do the last collocation. So fall, which one's left? Fall in affair, fall mate, fall in love, fall sweetheart, fall married, fall at first sight. What do you think it is? Yeah, well done. Fall in love. What does it mean to fall in love? This may be quite easy for you, but what does it mean to fall in love? If you fall in love with someone, what does this mean? And maybe you can think of an example sentence. Sorry, I've not been asking you to do example sentences for these, but yeah, if you can think of an example sentence of this with this one, that would be nice. How would we say to fall in love in the past? So how would we say, last year I in love? How would we say this? Yeah, so have strong feelings for someone, to love someone deeply. And great, guys, well done. So last year I fell in love. Last year I fell in love. Okay, this example sentence here, I have fallen madly in love with someone incredible. Good sentence, okay? So often we would say to fall madly in love. We could also say I've fallen deeply in love. Is there any others? I've fallen, yeah, madly in love, deeply in love. We would often use these just to make it a bit more, make it a bit like stronger, to emphasize it more. Okay. Let's have a little look at some phrasal verbs, and then I'm gonna test you on some of them, and I also have a couple of questions for you. So you can maybe, if you feel comfortable to, you can share some things about your own love lives in the chat box. Okay, the first, some of these we've already gone over today, okay? So just by chance, some of you have said these in the chat, which is great. So you already know some of these. The first one is this one. Cheat on someone. Cheat on someone, which we just spoke about. So to cheat on someone, to have, I can't fold that over. One sec. To have romantic relations with someone else while you are in a committed relationship. Okay, so we found out that he was cheating on her with another girl. Scandal. Yeah, to have an affair, exactly. Can you think of another example sentence for cheat on? You can write them in the chat. Someone's asking if they can screenshot the background. Of course. Let me move out the way. Do you want me to bring it a bit closer? Is that good? Is that close enough? I'll let you do that. I'll give you a minute. Okay. Did you get it? Does anyone need me to do that again? Let me know. Let me check your example sentences. My girlfriend dumped me as she found me cheating on her. Yeah, good. You've used two there. Excellent. Okay. Wei Liang, you would say he fell in love with her, but she cheated on him. But she cheated on him. Good example. Well done. Okay. Next one. We've also gone over this one. Break up. Break up. So we already know what this one means, because we went over earlier. To end a relationship with someone, we broke up last month. We broke up last month. Can you think of an example sentence? And I'll try and correct some for you. And how would you say this in your language? How would you say to dump someone, to break up with someone? Is it similar or is it completely different? Does it translate as something similar? Let me know in the comments. I don't think I know how to say this in any other languages. I never want to break up with my girlfriend. Just broken up with her boyfriend. She's just broken up. Good. Okay, so you've used the present perfect there, so that's good. Well done. So the past participle of break is broken. Okay, so you would need to change the form. Be careful when you're using phrasal verbs. I feel like I've said this before in another live, but be careful when you're using phrasal verbs because I think sometimes you're so busy trying to think of what the correct phrasal verb is because we have so many in English and they're a really difficult thing to learn. But I think sometimes you're focusing so much on getting it right, using the correct verb, the correct preposition in the right context, that then a lot of my students, they then forget to change the form of the verb. You need to treat it like a normal verb where you need to use it in the correct form. So it might need to be in the past tense, it might need to be in the continuous tense, it might need to be in the present perfect, whatever. But this is something that's important because you can use a phrasal verb, which is amazing, and it will make you sound really natural in English, and it's so impressive. But then if you use it in the wrong form, then it doesn't sound great. So be careful with this. Always make sure you check that you've used it in the correct form. But yeah, well done. Okay. Next one is settle down. Settle down. What does this mean, to settle down? To settle down with someone, you could say. I'm going to check my example sentence, which might help you, might give you a clue. Okay. My example sentence is, there is a lot of pressure to settle down before you are 30. There's a lot of pressure to settle down before you're 30. What does it mean? Yeah, to marry. Kind of means to marry. It's to be committed to one person and start planning your future together. So sometimes it means to marry. Sometimes it kind of just means to be in a more serious, committed relationship. You don't necessarily have to be married to settle down, but often a lot of people who are in committed, serious relationships do get married. So yeah, for a lot of people, settling down does mean to get married. To get married, maybe to have a family. Yeah, it means to be married and have a family. Yeah, to find a partner. To find a partner that you want to remain with for the rest of your life, you want to commit to. Okay, let's do the next one. We've got ask out. Ask out. What does this mean? To ask someone out. And can you think of an example sentence? We can kind of use it in two situations. Okay, so here if someone said to ask out for dinner, to ask on a date, yeah. Okay, so we can either use it to ask someone on a date or ask them for dinner or ask them to go for drinks with you one time. But we can also use it to ask someone to be in a relationship with you. So to ask someone to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. Not to ask them to be your husband or wife. That would be to pop the question or to propose. This is just to ask someone to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. So we can use it in these two examples. It can mean ask out on a date or ask them to be in a more committed relationship with you, to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay, so I've Oh yeah, I've said both of them here. So to ask someone to be in a romantic relationship with you, or to ask them to go for a date, to go on a date. So my example here is, what did you say when he asked you out? What did he say when he asked you out? Okay. As we fall in love with each other, we always ask each other out so often. Nice. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go over our last phrasal verb and then I'm going to test you on some of them. So I hope I haven't gone through that too quickly. As I said before, you can, if you screenshot this as well, you'll have all these written down. You'll have all these saved to look back on, but also this video will be posted on the channel. So anything that I've gone over too quickly for you, or anything that you just need to review again, which I totally get that you might need to because I've given you a lot of vocabulary, you can do that. You'll be able to watch it again right after, so don't worry about that. Okay, the last one, to lead on, to lead someone on. What does it mean if you lead someone on, or if someone leads you on? Do you think it's a positive thing, or do you think it's a negative thing? What do you think it means? Anyone got any ideas? Have you heard this one before? Positive, negative? We're split. It's negative, okay? It's negative. If you lead someone on, it's negative. Or if someone leads you on, it's a negative thing. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. Okay? It means, oh, here we go. Someone said, well done. To make someone believe there could be a romantic connection between you when you have no intention of starting anything. Excellent. Well done. So yeah, I think that's better than my explanation. So maybe we'll just go with yours. But yeah, to make someone think you like them more than you do. Okay, so you might lie to someone and say that you're interested in them when you're not really. You might say to them that you want to have a romantic relationship with them, but you don't really. So it's, yeah, you're lying to someone basically, making someone believe that you like them more than you do. So yeah, it's not a nice thing. It's definitely negative. And yeah, it's unfair to lead people on, is my example sentence. Can you think of an example sentence for this one? To lead someone on. You can say, they led me on, I led them on. Lead someone on. You've all given me such good examples today. A lot of you have used more than one in your example sentence too, which is great. She flirted with him and led him on. Great. This verb you've used as well, to flirt with someone, is a really good verb. To flirt with someone is to sort of chat to someone in a way that shows them that you're interested in them in a romantic way. So the way that you talk to them, the things that you say, you want them to know that you're interested in them in a romantic way. Okay. Great examples. Let's see if you can remember some of these phrasal verbs. I've got just 3 questions. So I've got a sentence here, and I want you to complete the sentence using the correct phrasal verb. I've given you some choices. It's multiple choice, so hopefully that'll help you a little bit. Okay, the first one, if you can just write the answer in the chat. So he hasn't seen her since they what? He hasn't seen her since they led or lead on, asked out, broke up. Great, everyone's getting this correct. Broke up. He hasn't seen her since they broke up. Good. Okay, the second one. I thought she loved me, but she was something, breaking me up, asking me out, or leading me on. The past of, someone's asked, what is lead on in the past? It's got the same spelling, but it's pronounced differently. So you would say, oh no, sorry, it doesn't have the same spelling. It's spelled L-E-D, and you would say led. He led me on. Okay. Yeah, well done. Leading me on. A lot of you have got the answer correct. C again, leading me on. Good. Okay, and the last question for the phrasal verbs. I think he's too young to what? I think he's too young to settle down. I think he's too young to cheat on, or I think he's too young to ask out. I feel like a couple of these actually work, but now that I'm reading it out. Yeah, A, settle down. You could say I think he's too young to ask out, I guess. But yeah, let's go with settle down. I think he's too young to settle down. But yeah, C would also work. Okay. Well done, everyone. I have 3 questions here now. I'm using some of the idioms or collocations in these questions, asking about you and your love life or your experience. So if you feel comfortable to answer these questions, none of them are that personal, to be honest. They're more general. But yeah, then you can write your questions in the chat. Your answers, in the chat. Okay, the first one. Do you know anyone who married their childhood sweetheart? So can you remember what childhood sweetheart was? What was childhood sweetheart? Maybe someone can remind us in the chat what a childhood sweetheart was for anyone who doesn't remember or who might have missed it. Childhood sweetheart. Okay, good example sentences, good answers. Your uncle. Yeah, so childhood sweetheart is someone that you have a relationship with in the early stages of your life. So someone you met when you were younger. So do you know anyone who married their childhood sweetheart? Some of you do. My parents were childhood sweethearts and now they are married. Oh, that's so sweet. I have a longtime friend who married their childhood sweetheart. Nice. My daughter married her childhood sweetheart. You wouldn't need to use the verb get. You can say, or you could say, my daughter got married to her childhood sweetheart, or my daughter married her childhood sweetheart. Nice, okay. Right, the next question is, this one's a bit more personal actually. Have you ever popped the question? And if you have popped the question, how did you do it? So can you remember what pop the question means? If you can, then answer the question. Have you ever popped the question? And if you have, how did you do it? How did you, yeah, I was about to tell you the meaning, but I'm just not going to say anything. Or do you know someone else? If you don't want to talk about yourself, you can talk about someone else. Do you know anyone else that popped the question? And how did they do it? How did they pop the question? Where? When? No, but in the near future, I will pop the question. Nice. She rejected. Oh, did she say no? I'm sorry. Yeah, to pop the question to ask for marriage. When John popped the question, Alex said yes without a further thought. Okay. I don't feel like any of you have popped the question. My friend brought his girlfriend over from America and popped the question. Nice. I don't remember when my husband popped the question. You don't need to say me, just popped the question. What a shame. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And the final question for you today is, what age do most people settle down in your country? What age do most people settle down in your country, or between what ages in general? Because I know everyone's different, but yeah. What age do most people settle down? Can you remember the meaning of settle down? 30, 25. Okay. I think it's kind of similar in the UK. 30s in Japan. Okay. 25 to 30. Yeah. So to settle down is to meet someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, maybe. You marry someone, maybe you start a family with them. Okay. All kind of similar ages. In Iraq, the age of 40. That's a bit older, I would say, than in the UK. I would say it's probably younger than 40 here. Yeah. Okay, well done, everyone. I'm going to give you a chance now to ask some questions. If you have any questions related to any of the idioms, the collocations, the phrasal verbs, or vocabulary that we've gone over today, if there's anything that wasn't very clear, if you need me to explain anything more, then I'll just give you a little minute to ask some questions now in the chat. Or if you want to know the meaning of another phrase related to this topic that I haven't gone over today, or if you can think of any other phrases or idioms related to this topic that you want to share with everyone, then please write it in the chat, and that would be great. Because yeah, there's so many more phrases that we can use related to this topic. So yeah, share them with us. That would be great. And thank you for watching. I hope it was useful. I hope that you learned some new vocabulary. I hope that this is some vocabulary that you will use. And if you already use Cambly, then great. If you use Cambly as an app to study English. If you don't already use Cambly, then I highly recommend it. It's a great platform to improve your English. You can talk to native English speakers from lots of different countries, and it's all online, so you can even do it on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, whatever you want. So it's a really convenient way to learn English. And I feel like if you study English with native speakers, you get a really good insight into things like this sort of vocabulary. So phrasal verbs, idioms, collocations, common expressions. You can just chat with a native speaker, and you'll learn these naturally from talking to them because it's the vocabulary they use every day. And yeah, I could go on and on about how good Cambly is, but I'm gonna stop now, and instead I'm just gonna give you this code where you can get 36% off using the code GOLIVE. It's also in the chat, you can see there, and there's also a link in the description. And you can have a look at my profile there, schedule a lesson with me, or many other teachers. So yeah, let me just have a look. Sorry, I remembered that I said I was going to answer some of your questions, and then I started rambling about Cambly. Let me just see if there were any questions. I don't think there were. To have a crush. To have a crush on someone. It's not a phrasal verb. It would be an idiom or a collocation. A phrasal verb is a verb that comes with a preposition. Okay, so have a crush is not a phrasal verb because it's not a verb and a preposition. Let me just get one of our phrasal verbs here so I can show you what I mean. Here we go. So here's a phrasal verb. We've got the verb settle, and then the second, or sometimes there's more than one word, sometimes there's two prepositions. So yeah, this is the preposition. So the verb and the preposition. And when we add the preposition to the verb, it changes the meaning of the phrase, the word, the verb. So yeah, so have a crush would be an idiom or a collocation. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and hopefully we'll see you again next week, next Sunday, for our next live lesson. You've all been great and given me so many good example sentences, so thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.